Hey guys, ever wonder what it takes to remove some of the trim that's around the hatch? Let me show you how it's done. It's tricky. It's tricky because the trim that I'm talking about, the left and right side pieces, which are these long pieces here, that's oriented against the hatch like this. They are fairly tricky to remove, and you have to be careful taking them out because they're easy to get damaged. Of course, these cars are now getting to be anywhere between 30 and 40 years old. And depending on the climate they've lived in, the plastic can get brittle and certainly age. You may want to remove them to have them recovered or replace them to check, the wiring for your rear window defroster, as I have done here. And it took me a little time to figure it out, but once I got going, it wasn't too bad. So hopefully this will save you some time. The reason they're difficult is these clips that Porsche use. They're pretty cool. However, they are the jaws of life. They will grip onto the trim panel and the hatch, and very tough to separate. And what happens over time is they get a little bit rusted, and then it's like the Chinese claw, where just as the more you push on it, it looks like it gets tighter. So here's what I did is I actually was able to pry this guy down a little bit on the side here using my Harbor Freight tool. This guy using the one claw end like this, and just gently pry, like this, just to give me enough, sort of a quarter of an inch gap so I can spray a little liquid wrench or something in there against these to help free up the point of contact where they clip on, which you can see right here. There's one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one, and so on. There's 5, I think, in total. And by doing so, that helps lubricate both the plastic here, the metal here, and before you know it, it'll start actually coming loose. You still have to use a bit of force, but a bit less. And then the concern of breaking any pieces will certainly be drastically reduced. So, what I did after that was I took the small flat edge screwdriver. And again, Harbor Freight tools. Hey, nothing but the best for my Porsche, man. No snap-on tools here, only Harbor Freight. And I actually was able to sneak it in here and push this way. Oops, can you see that? Push this way, like so. So by doing so, it actually helps slide the trim panel towards the center of the car, if you will. And that is what will get the panel off the clips. So 2 things will happen at that point. 1, the clips will stay on the metal here, or the clips may end up sticking onto the panel. In my case, they ended up sticking onto the panel because the way they're designed, they just claw onto them. So anyway, and then after that happens, then you carefully remove the rest of it, it'll just pop off. You'll have to be careful too that when you remove the wiring, you don't pinch the wiring as well. Removing the clips off the actual panel itself. So anyway, just some little tidbit there. This panel here, you may want to remove that if you want to lubricate the lock here, the mechanism here. Good time to do that. Or even check the light that sits right here, which is this guy. If you have a blown bulb or maybe it's not working, good idea to just remove this panel. It's easy to come off. It only requires a total of 6 small plastic clips, which are these guys. This guy right here, 6 of these. And they come off by carefully prying with a small flat edge like this guy, and they come off. If you use any force, definitely you're gonna break it. So if you find that you're using excessive force, I would stop and evaluate the situation, because it doesn't require any type of force to really move this back panel. And if you're using a lot of force for this guy to pry it off this way, guaranteed you're gonna break it. So take your time, be careful, and just kind of think logically through it. Hope that helps, and stay tuned for more.